Hi, welcome back to the Apple Podcast. I'm your host, Johnny Appleseed. To my right, we have
Grandpa Smith.
Today, we'll be showing you how to make 2 summer sweets that'll be sure to satisfy your sugary cravings.
And stick around for our special guest appearance by Apple Fritter himself.
Let's get right into it. So, Grandpa Smith, what do we have first?
We have my Papap's apple cobbler. The recipe was passed down from my Papap to me, his Papap to him, his Papap to him, and his Gigi to him.
So it's been in the family for generations.
Yes, many years, at least a decade.
All right, well, let's go to the kitchen where Grandpa Smith will show us how to make the cobbler.
I probably should have waited.
That hair in there. Now you can do it in the top one.
Oh, that's good. A cobbler.
Now that we have the finished cobbler, we'll go ahead and get into the review. As every true Apple fan knows, apple cobbler is judged pre-cut. So we'll get into the shape, shine, and density. Shape,
It's pretty square.
yeah, there is some malformation at the top, but that happens during baking, as I'm sure our fans understand. Shine, pretty dull, kind of disappointed in that regard.
You know, if you get low and you kind of look at it right over the top, you see a little bit of a shine, you know? It's a little shinier than what expected looking
Yeah.
straight on.
You know what? I will give them that. Density, you want to take a heft?
Honestly, pretty light, not super dense.
Wow, well, I think that's a true measure of a good cobbler. And I guess we'll get onto the cut.
Let's get in.
All right, so we'll get on to take a quick waft. Overt notes of cardamom and cinnamon.
Yeah, surprisingly, I don't actually smell the apples too much. Cooking them must have really kind of dumbed down the taste, if you will.
Oh yes, it's very dumb cobbler. Let's get into the taste. Well, non-existent crunch for the apples.
Yeah, I had maybe the slightest. Oh, for the apples, no crunch at all. I had the slightest bit of, if you could call it crunch on the crust, but
That would be a stretch, I think. But how many apple cores out of 5 would you give it? It is your Papap's recipe.
it is my Papap's recipe. I don't know if it's because I am just not as experienced in making as my Papap was, but I feel like I'm going to have to go with like a 2.5 out of 5 apple cores.
Wow, I would feel much the same. I was also thinking a 2.5.
A little underwhelmed by it, but that, you know, I don't blame Papap at all. It might have been chef error, so.
Well, bless Papap, and we'll get onto the fan mail. This letter is from Pink Lady. She's a big fan of the show. She's seen every episode. She'd love us to try her family recipe for apple ice cream. And Pink Lady will be trying that in today's episode. We'll cut to the kitchen where we'll show you how to make it. And Pink Lady, we have your apple ice cream here. So we'll go on to shape, shine, density. Shape, pretty solid block of ice cream.
Yeah, it's kind of similar to the Cobbler. It's square, you know?
Oh, that's a good observation.
Yeah.
Shine, pretty lustrous actually.
Yeah, especially like the Cobbler. Get low. And you can really see it shine off there. You
Yeah,
know?
that's a good point. And density, you want to take a heft?
Oh, this one's pretty dense. It's heavy. It's also very cold. Well, it's ice cream, so I would hope so. But definitely quite dense.
All right, well, I guess we'll get on to the cut.
Yellow stupid. Yep. Cut it exactly like the Cobbler.
So fucking dumb. All right, so we'll get onto a quick waft. Well, I can't really smell that much at all.
Me neither. So there's a few notes of maybe some dairy, potentially even a couple ice notes as well, but very faint at that. So
Well, let's get onto the tasting
I
then.
guess so.
Oh,
Warming up.
Really.
Driving up.
oh,
Cover all 9,000 taste buds.
well,
That's a 10.
you know, Pink Lady, you've outdone yourself. It's pretty tasty. How many apple cores out of 5 would you give that?
Pretty good. I'm thinking like a good 4.
Yeah, I'd probably think the same, but I'll give it a 1 just for good measure.
Okay,
Don't
yeah.
want him to get too cocky out there.
That's fair enough.
But
That's fair enough.
thank you again, Pink Lady, for the recipe, and we'll move on to our guest segment.
Hi, I'm Apple Fritter.
Hi, Apple Fritter.
That's Mr. Fritter to you, punk.
Okay, Mr. Fritter, we understand you're here to promote something.
I'm here to promote how apples are good for children of all ages. You know what they say, an apple a day keeps the doctor away.
Yes, everyone knows that, Mr. Fritter. Anything you could tell us about fritters?
They're not good, you shouldn't eat them.
I don't know, Mr. Fritter. You looking like a snack.
I'm not a snack. You know what they say, a fritter a day keeps you in the sick bay.
Well, have you ever heard that, Grandpa Smith?
I think my pap used to say that, but I'm going to use one of my other favorite pap phrases. Let's get to the cut.
Get to the what?
You know, I really learned a lot from Mr. Fritter today. Why do you think we have guests more often?
I don't know. Every time we had a guest on, we never got to hear from them again after the cut.
Yeah, that's a shame.
Yeah, hopefully we'll hear from Mr. Fritter again soon. He was a real treat.
I'm just knuckling.
My pap.
Stone Cold
Like a good 4.